All right, so welcome back to the program. In case you're just joining us and you're wondering what program you're watching, it is Moneyline with me, Nancy Nnaji. And in case you were like, what are we doing today? Is it a comedy show? We're assessing the skits industry because a lot of you watch some of those guys on your phones. Professor Ihua is joining me right now. He's the Executive Director at Africa Polling Institute. Welcome, Prof. Thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
Good to be here, or good to have you, rather. How much happiness does some of these people put on the faces of Nigerians? I know I watch some of them on my phone, you know, and it seems to sometimes in the middle of a tough day, or you just want to crack up or something, and you see one of their skits, like you laugh, even if it's for 2 minutes, and you go back to what you. So, how much happiness do some of these guys, not just even guys, men and women, or young ladies and guys,
that's right,
yes, bring to the faces of Nigerians?
Good question, Nancy, and it's great to be here as always. It's been a while since we met.
Yes, sure.
So
it's
good
been a while.
to be on your show again.
COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID, you know. But so much happiness, so much happiness. So, for instance, from our study, we conducted this study, skit economy. The skit economy is our own coinage because, you know, we sat down, we were trying to understand what is happening. If you come from the macro perspective, the arts, entertainment, and leisure sector, you know, contributing about 2.3% thereabout to the country's GDP. Of course, COVID brought that down a bit. You know, Nollywood alone generates about 600 million, you know, USD per annum. You know, that's just Nollywood. Creates about 1 million jobs, excluding pirates. So there's so much happening in this sector. And if you begin to bring that down, you see that one sector that is gaining a bit of significance and not much academic work or anything has been done on it is this area of comedy skits. So we thought, you know, there's an economy around here. So, and why is there an economy? There's a multiplier effect. For every time you watch a less than 1 minute skit, or there are cameramen behind the scene, there are light men behind the scene, there are sound men behind the scene, there are costume people behind the scene, there's someone who will look for location, there are editors, so there's a whole economy around these guys. And what we are saying is that these guys have been thriving with very little to no support from anybody. They start out with their phones, and from there, when they begin to get some money, they now upgrade to. So in terms of happiness, they bring so much happiness to Nigerians. Our study found that 67% of Nigerians say they watch comedy skits. Of that 67%, 45% say they watch it a few times, once in a while 29% say they watch it several times a day, and 20% say they watch it several times a week. So that should tell you in some ways what this is about. And when we ask Nigerians, why do you like comedy skits? You know, 65% of Nigerians say they love comedy skits because it's entertaining and funny. About 38% say they love it because it passes some key information. They use it to pass information. And we had about 14% who say they use it to rest and relax. So in some ways, these skits have become like an elixir or like a capsule that Nigerians take to ease off daily stress and to, you know, keep themselves going. So
whether I fall within the 29%, or is it the 20% that
29% that watch several times a day?
No, for ease and relaxation.
Yes, the 14% that use for ease and relaxation.
Okay, but you didn't interview me, so I'm not part of the study. Why is it called skit? Because during my analysis earlier, I was like, you know, that language was what we know for sure, or at least what we've been used to, is comedy. We have comedians, you know, but a new generation of people coming up with these skits. And I don't know if they are also, we can also tag them as comedians or they are skit creators. What exactly is a skit? Is it a short version of a full comedy or what?
Good. A skit or a sketch is a short, you know, information, short bit of whether a projection or audio or visual, that is passing a message mostly satirical. So it's a short, very short, it's called a skit or it's called a sketch. It's a short film or short audio that is passing an important message in mostly a satirical approach. And these guys are comedians in their right, but we have chosen to see them more as digital content creators, because what they are doing is digital content. I think what's interesting to note is that a large part of this is, we ask Nigerians, so on what platforms do you watch these comedy skits? So the bulk of Nigerians, 50% of those who watch it on Facebook.
Really,
so
Facebook?
That should then help you understand how this works. So 50% on Facebook, 34% on Instagram, 18% on YouTube, 15% on WhatsApp, and 10% on Twitter. So that helps you to paint the image.
I'm actually surprised that more people watch on Facebook.
You see, that's because you are an elite. When you go to the hinterlands, how many people, okay, let's even look at the numbers for Nigeria. Nigerian numbers, as of 2019, on Facebook, we had 27.7 million. By that's third quarter of 2019. By the fourth quarter of 2019, that figure had moved up to about 30 million. And of course, with the lockdown, COVID, boredom, that figure has jumped up, but we don't have current stats. You look at Instagram, we have 16.7 million Nigerians on Instagram, 16.7. You look at YouTube, we have about 19 million on YouTube. You look at WhatsApp, we have 23.5 million Nigerians on WhatsApp. And Twitter, we have 12.5 million Nigerians on Twitter. So what we are saying in essence is that Facebook is still king. Facebook still has almost 30 million viewers or audience or, people who are on Facebook in Nigeria daily. And so you look, the followership on these platforms that have the high are the guys who are the big guys. So we'll come to looking at those who are the...
I'm really interested in this, and for those that are watching, they can actually pick some kind of information from what you're saying in terms of advertisement. So that means there are more Nigerians on Facebook out of, I think... That's right. Facebook has market share of about 2 billion people, close to 2 billion people. So that means there are more Nigerians, on Facebook than any other social media
followed
platform.
By WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Yes. And of course, WhatsApp is a Facebook company.
Yes. So that tells you.
And also Instagram, I think.
Yeah, Instagram has just about 16.7 million.
Wow. Okay. So let's take a look at those that these digital content creators in Nigeria. What were your findings? When I looked at your report, I saw the top 10 skit comedians. Who are those people?
Good. And, some guys accosted me yesterday that their favorites did not make the top 10. And they said, Dr. Bell, something is happening. I said, now let me help you understand it. You have to look at the platforms first. And this is a nationwide survey. Nationwide, across the country. So even there were people I did not know, but we found them. There are people I've never watched, but we found them. So top line, we have BRODA SHAGGI,
I was actually surprised with that.
Yes.
That why BRODA SHAGGI is topping the study.
Resonates with the common man. Also, he has a huge Facebook followership. So I'll tell you, BRODA SHAGGI, for example, has 5.5 million followers on Facebook. BRODA SHAGGI has a cumulative followership of almost 30 million people. The Mackenzie comedy team has a cumulative followership of 26.3 million people. So Mackenzie comedy's platform on Facebook has 15 million followers. Emanuela alone has 3.8 million followers. So when you run the math, you begin to understand what is going on. So number one on the list is BRODA SHAGGI with 35%. Then we have the Mackenzie comedy team, Emanuela and Mark and Success, 26%. Then you have Mr. MARCARONI at 15%. Then we have TAAOOMA at 12%. Lasisi Elenu, 11%. We also have the likes of Malam Musa Nedu and MC Casino, part of the Benin cluster, 11%. Then we have Woli Agba. Woli Agba came out at 10%. We have Omo Badon, Lizzie K came out at 9%. Then we have someone like Bosho. Bosho, he's of the northern extraction. I don't even know him, but this came out of the survey. And when you look at the top 20, there were more names. So likes of, there's somebody called Ibro, came out at 9%. And these were estimates across the country. When we have Edo Pikin, 6%.
I know Edo Pikin.
You know Edo Pikin.
Yeah, MC Edo Pikin.
Yeah. We have Dan Auta, 5%. We have MC Lively, 4%. We have Josh Too Funny, 3%. We have Nasty Black, 2%.
I've
We
never
have
heard of that.
Maraji, 2%.
Okay, Maraji.
We have Mazaje. We got that from the field, 2%. Crazy Clown, 2%. Officer Was, 1%. You have even people like Frank Donga, 1%. So it just shows you that, one, we looked at it from a national view. This is viewers' choice ranking, and secondly, the platforms from which they watch this. So it's really interesting to see that these are the guys topping the chart in the country.
Very interesting. I've not heard of certain names. This is the first time.
That's the beauty of research.
Of research, yes, because it unveils a lot of things that you don't know. Okay, Prof, let's take a break and let's take a comedy skit, and let me calm down a bit with with a skit. We will be back in case perhaps those that are just watching us and haven't even heard, because from your study, just 67% of Nigerians say they watch comedy skits.
Which is significant.
Which is very significant.
Which is a huge market.
Very huge market. Yes. That means that there are 3% that haven't seen a comedy skit. So you get to see one.
That may have seen, but are not
interested in watching. So at least let's get one. I think is okay. Let's watch this.
You know, I put it on you. See this card today.
Put your account number here.
Let me say I really need this money, but I have to show people like you example. They have to do.
Excuse me, can you put your account number there, please?
Don't be saying this money go do anything for me, but we're not supposed to know. They don't treat people like that.
Put your account number there, please.
My knee.
I sent you the 100,000.
Me, I've not seen it, though. Let me carry my phone. I don't see her. Oh, God, see, let me advise you. They don't do things like that.
Daddy, why is your face like this?
In fact, today I don't know vagabonds left and right. It's just disturbing my life, honestly.
Sorry, Daddy, but I have something to cheer you up. He's already waiting for you inside. Babe, meet my dad. Daddy, meet my
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Your daddy?
Yeah, my dad. Babe, my dad.
I know.
Where are you going now? My dad now.
All right, welcome back to the program. We're looking at the skit economy and what that skit economy is doing for Nigerian young people. Professor Ihua is joining me, or he's still with me rather. He's the Executive Director at Africa Polling Institute. Prof, during the break I was saying that what I've also noticed is the cross-pollination among the skit actors. Well, I hope that's right. Or this digital content
comedians,
yes,
digital
skit
content
comedians,
creators.
yes, digital content creators. I see there's this kind of cross-pollination among them right now. What do you think about that? You see like a MARCARONI acting with a Lasisi Elenu, a MARCARONI or a Lasisi Elenu acting with a TAAOOMA,
or BRODA SHAGGI.
or BRODA SHAGGI, yes. So what do you think is the rationale behind that?
Yeah, I mean, it's followership.
Followership
and it's
and
interesting to see that happen. So, you know, as I spoke earlier, BRODA SHAGGI has a cumulative followership of 12.9 million. That's SHAGGI. Let's talk about Lasisi Elenu. Lasisi Elenu has a cumulative followership of 5.9 million. Let's call that about 6 million. Macaroni has a followership of about 4.2 million cumulatively on various platforms. So if we collaborate and do skits, my 4.4 million, your 6 million, we are sure that that skit is exposed to about over 10 million people. And so what we are seeing here is that these collaborations will continue so that they can use it to grow their followership base and also reap immense benefit from it. And it takes me to the point of where is the money in all of this?
I was about coming to that. If the followership base also translates, if there's a monetary value.
Precisely, there is a monetary value. So for every skit they put out and the number of people that watch those skits, it attracts money to them, whether on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or whichever platform they are using to share, they would get money. But the money they get from that is just one side of the money. We are beginning to see huge endorsements coming in. For example, Brother SHAGGI has been endorsed by Fair Money, by Globalcom, by TradeFadder. Most recently, he's been endorsed by Revolution Plus or stuff like that.
I think we should leave the brand names.
Okay. So, in any case, these guys are getting huge endorsements. And for that endorsement, they are being paid. And they're all having endorsements now. But even beyond the endorsement, how it starts is that we see a trajectory. You start out running your own comedy skits. I take SHAGGI, for example. He told me that, when I interviewed him, he told me that in 2016, he was supposed to be going for the auditioning of the first My Wedding Party. So he went for the audition, Lagos traffic, he got there late. By the time he got there, they wrapped up the audition and said, sorry, young man, sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. He felt so bad. He went home and said, God, what am I going to do? And he started doing skits. So we see that from skits, you begin to grow followership, people begin to like you and all of that, then producers will start looking for you. When producers start looking for you, start acting films, you start making a bit of money, then they transit from now just acting on people's films to producing their own movies. And from producing their own movies, some of them develop the nerve or the capacity to develop very good movies that can go on platforms like Netflix. We saw this with Wole Arole. Started creating skits, skits praying for people and blessing people. Oh my God, and all that. Started skits, producers started looking for him. He now, he featured in a few films, made his own money, produced his own films. His films are now on Netflix. The guy we're seeing now is Macaroni, who just featured on Kunle Afolayan's latest film. And Kunle Afolayan shoots blockbusters. It goes big. He makes a lot of money. Then he can begin to think. I mean, for this program, for example, I had reached out to Macaroni's manager to see if he could join in, especially for our launch that happened yesterday. He said Macaroni, SHAGGI is booked till 15th of February. Those were his words. We reached out to Frank Donga. Frank Donga is on set as we speak. We reached out to Macaroni. He's on set also. So these guys are
busy.
Extremely busy
making money.
Now, let me even say that to get these guys for the interview, because we spoke to 1,521 Nigerians randomly across the country, every state, senatorial district. We also spoke to 13 of the leading skit comedians and one skit producer, the producer of Ihua skits. And to get these guys, and let me even use this opportunity to thank some of their managers. I want to thank Femi Penza. Femi Penza is manager of SHAGGI. He made that come true. Abimbola is manager to Lasisi Elenu. We also have Akim, who's manager to TAAOOMA, and I think Tunde, who's manager to Wole Agba. To get these guys, as a matter of fact, TAAOOMA is guarded. She and the grenade company. So I suspected that while I was conducting the interview, she may not have been there. I was called, they called her also, I put on the phone and said we should have the interview. Because Of course, they didn't know who I was. You're a researcher. What is the interview for? Send me your questions. I sent them the questions. I called a few times to try and convince them. There's no harm here. We're just, opinion researchers. We're just conducting a research to understand what's happening in this space. And it took a lot. So to get these guys, and they are also very busy. So to get their schedule, most of the interviews I even conducted were conducted 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Only time I conducted on a Saturday around 5 p.m. But Woli Agba, 10 p.m. MARCARONI, 11 p.m. That's how late, because they are busy during the day. Is that little time that they have in the evening, and because of the kind of pressure I was putting on their managers, they had to create those little windows.
Were you able to get a sense of how much the monetary value of all of this? Were you able to get a sense from them, perhaps what an average skit that they do for advertisers and how much they get from it?
They were quite covert about how much they make, but what we sort of found from the research is that a skit cost about $3,000 to $5,000. That's looking,
put that in naira.
Yeah.
Let's nairanize that.
That's depending on what you're using. That's between 2 to 3 million naira.
For a skit that they do for like a company,
for
because most of them do adverts. Because most of their skits are like advertorial. They send a message, buy this, but in a very playful manner and a very funny manner.
They're doing quite a lot of that now.
Them.
Even Woli Agba, for example, has this arrangement where he prays for people who are having birthdays,
and you
wives
pray.
who say, this is my husband, this is his picture, and all of that. Husbands who do the same, and it's making so much money from that. So where is all of this? For us, the economy. So there are 5 key implications we took out of this study. Number 1 is the potential for entertainment and humor. There is a big market for that in this country. And skits, as I said, serve as an elixir that can help relieve stress.
We were once the most happiest people in the world.
We were once, yes, I agree with you.
Yes.
We were once.
We were once. So that means the market is there.
The market is there.
That humor market is there.
It's
tap
there.
into.
So that's one. The second is information dissemination and correction of social ills. So Lasisi puts out a video, and in a few hours, it goes viral. Sometimes, the government can put out a piece of information, and it takes time to circulate. Is there a possibility of working with these guys to help spread, certain information?
When the government was talking against social media at the time.
That's part of their concern. I'll come to the point of the number of concerns. So that's the second, information. The third is job creation. Why do I say that? Woli Agba, for example, employs 30 people. SHAGGI employs 15 people. MARCARONI employs 8 people. TAAOOMA employs 5 people. Lasisi Elenu told me that every single day, over 100 people send him messages on his Instagram asking to be mentored. Saying, can you mentor? We like what you do, but we don't know how to go about it. We don't know where to start. So imagine that this is a sector that has grown so much with very little to no support whatsoever. Imagine if support comes and you can support these guys to say, okay, let's mentor. What will happen if we have 500 Lasisi or 500 SHAGGI? The dollars these guys are cashing in from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram is amazing. We can have more dollars, more forex coming into the country if we properly harness this space.
You know what just came to my mind now? It's not just even about skits. We're seeing some of these young people, being enabled by social media to get out of that unemployment bracket in terms of finding something to do for themselves. I remember there's also this category of people. I don't know if I should call them dancers or what. The Korodu boys. I don't know if you heard about
the Korodu boys.
Yes, that like.
They're also digital content creators.
Yes, they are digital content creators. They see a movie, perhaps a foreign movie or stuff, young children, and they act the same way, using the local things around their environment. The question right now will be, how can we translate this talent? How do we monetize these talents across the country? And not just say, it's just something for fun. Because America, for example, has built a huge industry from fun.
See, you talked about social media. So social media is the platform that gave these guys the sort of influence that they have today. So I talked about the 5 points. So the fourth is actually the uptake of social media. Nancy, social media has become a leveler. In the past, to, let's use the street language, to blow in the creative space, you need to go and carry the bag of producers. You need to go and do a josa. You need to go and beg. You need to go hang around studios, sitting down for long. Sir, get talent. Sir, help me. Sir, help me blow. But what social media has done is that it has cut out the middleman such that if you have a talent, you now have direct access to a global market. Put it out there. Let people hear what you have to say. If it resonates and people find it interesting, they will start following you. After they start following you, then movie producers will start looking for you. So in the past, it used to be you pursuing me. Sir, I have talent. Sir, I have talent. Help me. Put me. No. Now it's go out and do what you can do. Put it out there. But you're talking about monetizing. The truth of the matter is that there's so much opportunity in the social media space now to make money. If you can put this out and have a number of views, what are the social media companies looking for? Views. They are looking for people to be on their platforms. If you can be one of those that will help people be on their platform, because of the digital content you create, you are going to make money.
The interesting thing, I see a comment coming through on social media. Someone said, what of Helen Paul?
Yes, Helen Paul did not make top 20.
Top 20.
In some ways, I'm not sure people saw her as a skit comedy. Of course, she has they are larger character. But these guys are sort of the guys who we know for skits. Lasisi, for example, has about 3 characters. There's the Lasisi. There are about 4. There's the Lasisi. There's the Sinzu Money, the Yahoo boy, who's always telling people how he's making. There's the Zadi, the rich old man looking for young ladies. There is the Edo mother, who's always tying rapper and never tying the rapper properly and calling Lasisi and the younger one. So these are the guys producing these characters. These are the leading guys. Unfortunately, Helen didn't make the top 20.
But one interesting thing from your study, which you said earlier, the top 20, they resonate with different areas or different regions of the country. So that means for some regions, like the MC Edo Pikin, I think is in Benin.
We spoke to MC Edo Pikin, MC Casino, and the young elder, the young elder.
So they are in different parts of the country
and they are doing really great work.
Okay. I think we'll leave it at that. It shows that there's so much potential.
Just before we go, let me even say that the influence these guys now have can be, if you have 12.
In fact, just before we go, Prof, sorry for putting, sorry for cutting you short. I also want to ask, is there a threat to the traditional media with this? Because you see a lot of advertisers going there.
There is a threat to traditional media. Traditional media is already losing in terms of adverts. People are now taking the adverts here. And these guys have become huge social influencers. We saw it in the NSAS protest recently. Macaroni tweets and over how many thousand people like it or follow it or, say, let's meet at Lekki Tollgate and people gather there.
People come.
So,
thank you very much, Professor Ihua.
My pleasure as always. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, I've been speaking with Professor Bell Ihua, the Executive Director at Africa Polling Institute. We've been assessing the skit economy. What a way to end the week and what a way to end the Friday. I will see you all, God willing, on Monday. I am Nancy Najibi, the best you can be, for the change you want to see. Don't forget to wear a mask. Hello YouTubers, welcome to Moneyline with Nancy TV YouTube channel. This is where we provide you with instructive business directions, processes and guidance to help you assess the right resources to fund your businesses to withstand every form of internal and external shock. You will find here awesome informative videos on business, entrepreneurship and lifestyle just to help you make informed business and financial decisions. Punch the subscribe button and let us drive you through the world of business. Please follow all our social media platforms on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and follow us for latest updates on our website.